this is Danielle Dunlap for Possum Stamps, and today I'm going to make a shaker card with you using the Snail Mail stamp set from the February release. And I'm using, along with that, the XOXO shaker bits. And I also have from an older release, the Rays of Sunshine background stencil. I'm starting with the stamps, and I stamped and die cut one of the snails from this stamp set and the mailbox. I will also be using the grass, but I'll be stamping that later directly on my background. So now we're first going to start the coloring of the mailbox and the snail. For the mailbox, I'm using the color combination R81, R83, R85, and R89. And I do use this combination a lot, but I just love how it gives the dimension of your images when you use all four of these markers. And I just really like how that stands out. For the snail house, I'm using some yellows, and I wanted a bit of a hint of orange in there. So I'm using Y13, Y17, and Y38. And as you all know, yellow is a little harder to blend. So I'm going back and forth between these colors to get a nice blend where it really looks like in the middle of the snail house, there's some sun shining on it. So you get a bit of a glow in the middle with that yellow. Once I have all the layers of the snail house colored, I'm going back in with Y38 to color all those dots. For the body of the snail, I'm using G000 as my lightest, and then I'm using G00 to blend it all out. And I also colored the envelopes in the mailbox with these same colors. For the window of my shaker card, I'm using a heart-shaped die with a scalloped edge, and I'm going all the way around this heart with double-sided tape, and this is to put the acetate sheet down. I'm using the die cut heart that I cut earlier for the window to trace it on my background sheet so that I know where the heart is going to be. And then I'm going to stamp the grass at the bottom of the heart shape. I'm coloring my grass with YG01, YG03, and YG05. And I'm making sure that I go all the way down so that the entire bottom point of the heart shape is colored in green so that the grass is going all the way down in the image. I got a mask for the grass, so now that I can start the ink blending for the sky in my background. And I'm using some different shades of pink with the Rays of Sunshine background stencil. And I only need to cover everything that's going to be inside of the heart shape because you won't see the rest of the background. I'm starting here with some spun sugar as the lightest color at the top. I wanted a middle color with Kitsch Flamingo, but it kind of looked like my Kitsch Flamingo is dry and needs some inking up. So I ended up using just spun sugar mainly with picked raspberry and made it blend well in the middle. When I went back in there with the spun sugar and also trying to get a little bit of Kitsch Flamingo, I also picked up that picked raspberry that was on the stencil, and that also really helped to get a nice blend. I felt the white stripes in between those rays were a little too white, so I went back in with my spun sugar and filled up those white spots. And because I didn't dry the previous layer yet, it got a nice blend there. Now I'm adding some foam strips to the back side of my card front. And I'm also making sure that I have the heart shaped entirely enclosed with foam strips so that the shaker bits or sequins or whatever you're using, that they only stay in that area where there's the window. So you actually need less shaker bits or sequins because they only stay within that window area. The only stamped image that goes on the background layer is the mailbox, so I'm gluing that one down here. I'm using my anti-static tool on the window so my shaker bits won't get stuck there on the foam tape. And I'm using the XOXO clay shaker bits for my card. Now I'm removing the backings of the foam strips, but only for like half of the card. So it's easier to put the background piece perfectly lined up. And once I have that in place, then I can remove all the backings of the rest of the foam strips. Now I'm going to glue down the snail, and that is going there like it's walking into the grass, into the heart shape. Now it's time for my sentiment, and I'm using the special delivery sentiment from this same snail mail stamp set. And because I have my card front on foam tape already, it's a little harder to get a good print of your stamp. But with the stamping tool, you can just easily ink it up again and try it again. And eventually you get a good one. Now all I need is a card base, so I'm putting some glue on my card front and add it to my card base. And then my card is actually finished. And now comes my favorite part, shaking all these bits around. I hope you enjoyed watching this card come together. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all next time. Have a great day. Bye bye.